Now that I've made the Fathead dough, I've got to make something to eat. I've slept on it. I've thought about it for days. I am in the mood for lasagna. I have been in the mood for lasagna since I started my keto diet. It's like literally, once you start a diet, everything that you never even really wanted, now you want all of a sudden just because you know that you can't have it. When I found out that I could, I was ecstatic. I'm going to make my delicious version of a keto lasagna. It's going to be layers of ricotta cheese, fathead noodles, and then a delicious sausage meat sauce that is just amazing. I love it. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. Press the notification bell, and let's get started. Okay, foodies, I'm starting off with a little bit of olive oil at the bottom of my pot. I'm getting this nice and hot. I didn't mean to rhyme, but I did. And I'm gonna start by sauteing some garlic, lots of garlic, about 4 garlic cloves. I'm gonna then add some diced red pepper. I would usually add onions, but my onions are gonna come in later, you will see. I'm gonna saute everything for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna begin to add my meat. So this is actually ground beef patties, 2 2-ounce patties to be exact. I like to keep burgers because I could either have burgers or I could just crush them up into ground meat. For me, it's super convenient. I'm adding some ground breakfast pork sausage. I actually ground this up myself in my food processor. So simple. You can usually take the casing off and just fork the sausage. And now I am going to add some ground kielbasa sausage. I'm going to say 2 12-inch kielbasa sausages. And I'm going to saute everything together. I need it all to be fully cooked. And now this is my spice blend. Heavy on the herbs, smoked paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder. Check the description for the exact measurements. For this recipe, I want to make a meat sauce. So typical lasagna has a layer of meat, layer of sauce, but I'm going to make it all together. So before I go there, check out my Fathead Dough noodles. This was the first time that I ever made Fathead Dough. You can check the description for that recipe and that whole experience if you would like. Now for keto, tomato sauces tend to have a lot of sugar. I like to make my own tomato sauce. So I started off with stewed tomatoes. I like to do a little bit of garlic, herbs, and then of course onions and peppers. So I put that in my food processor and chopped everything up so that it made a chunky, hearty tomato sauce. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to that to thin it out, and then I'm gonna let all of this cook together for about 20 minutes. So all of the spices, all of the peppers and the onions and the sausages and the beef are gonna melt together and turn into something amazing. You can actually see the richness. There's a depth in the color. It looks so good. I'm using an oven safe pan, and I'm going to begin to layer all of my ingredients. So I have my keto noodles, my meat sauce, and ricotta cheese. Nothing too stacked because I don't want each serving to be too calorie dense. I really am watching my calories with my keto, so I think just using 4 pieces of the Fathead noodles is perfect. If I didn't care, then yeah, I'd have a sky-high lasagna. So as you can see, I've put drops of ricotta cheese down, and I'm also going to put a little bit of provolone to just give it some sharpness. And then goes a layer of my noodles. And you know what? They're called noodles. Clearly they don't look or feel or, you know, act like noodles. They're not flimsy. They're like bread, and they taste really good. They're like a cheesy bread, but when it bakes together, it softens up and it just adds a layer of stability. On top of that goes another layer of ricotta cheese, and then more of my meat sauce. If you need potassium, spinach would be great in this. I didn't have any spinach. I wanted some so badly because that would have been so good. So I'm going to top this off with Parmesan cheese and put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. I just need for all of the cheese to melt together at this point. And then we are finished. I hope that you guys enjoyed this recipe. Check the description once again for other keto recipes, and I will see you foodie soon. I had lasagna. This was so good. Okay, my dough, if you watched the video of how I made my fathead dough, check the description if you haven't. It was grainy. So when I'm chewing it, I had fine grains of almond. I suspect that when I purchased the almond flour, redo the fathead dough, and if I had done that to begin with, I wouldn't have had that graininess. I'm expecting for, you know, store-bought almond flours to be a little bit finer. And that was like, oh, like this could be so much better than it is if the flour was just on point, Marisha. I've honestly never made a lasagna with sausage before, but I had so much sausage in the house. I have other videos here that just so happen to be keto if you are on a keto diet. So click on something beside my head, as well as subscribe to this channel and my Couture Cakes channel. I will see you guys soon. Bye, foodies.